Welcome to video number 2, Trains, Planes, Automobiles and Boats of Legoland. There's a lot of action in what's called the village at Legoland, and you'll see a lot of great little models all going. The airport, which features some moving planes as well as static ones like the Concorde here, are pretty good. There's a little air display area there where there's some jet fighters and biplanes and a couple of experimental jets with appropriate people running around. The little plane, cargo plane, about to take off, and the jet just taxiing around. I would point out, as this is all open air, and I don't know how often they renew it, but a lot of the models and things are very weather worn. I imagine they put up with the harshness of the Danish weather, but yes, it's a case of how often would they build them and refresh them? I don't know, but some of them do look a little bit tatty. So anyhow, that's the airport. Coming across the village has a lot of waterways and a lot of various scenes from various countries. So you can pick a country in Europe and you'll find a scene somewhere within the village. Like Wonderland in Germany, there is a lot of stuff that must be controlled by computers somewhere in the system. There's nowhere obvious, but things like this boatyard, it seems fairly simple. The boat goes down to the water, and then it gets onto the Traverse carriage, comes across, but then also goes out to be parked. So there's 1, 2, 3 different operations there, but yeah, they just all go smoothly. Same with the cars, they're very much like the Feller car system, but they're obviously computer controlled, because they just seem to stop at appropriate points, and obviously they're all internally powered. But I did like this little fishing yard. Having visited the Netherlands as well on this particular European trip, we were very surprised at the lack of windmills. We actually visited the one historical one that's been left as a museum, and fascinating stuff. But it's like anything in history, once they lost their use, people tore them down. So that was a surprise. I thought there'd still be windmills everywhere, but there's not in current Netherlands, because they've got all diesel pumps now that just run continuously, keeping the water back. So they're a thing of the past, but they're very much a classic thing of the past. Lego trains run through the countryside. You've got your suburban ones, you've got freight trains, you've got ice trains, the intercontinental expresses, a whole range, and they're just intertwined within all these various little scenarios. And of course there must be, I don't know how many hundreds of boats that are constantly moving around. So this is a scenario for a boat going through a lock in Holland, or the Netherlands, and once again it's a case of something's controlling them. The boats all seem to be on a wire and pulley system, but of course to go through a lock they have to detach, and so there must be some system to be able to actually disengage, to let it fall down, and then to re-engage at the lower level. Probably worth investigating. I'm sure someone's probably done a movie of it or a YouTube video, but it all just seems to work flawlessly, and fascinating how the hydraulics of the whole operation just seem to flow so well as well. So some really smart thinking here, some great technology, and just using a simple Lego bricks. It's a job well done, Lego. These little ferries act like taxis in the Netherlands, and of course with canals it's probably at times cheaper to run one of these than trying to build a high bridge over a very small canal. We went on a couple while we were there, and just one was just doing a constant loop from one side to the other all day, every day. Everyone just hopped on just like a bus, shot across the water and off and running again. We did ride on a funicular in Bruges in Belgium, but I don't think this was a representation of that. Good little concept though. I'm still trying to work out how I can apply this to a Magna Rail setup. And I've sort of got it in my mind how it would work, but yeah, we'll see. This Leerstetten Lock was very interesting, both from a modelling perspective, but also just as a construction in real life. The fact that it is able to go down so many levels within the operation, but also they have reservoirs on the side that acts as a container to be able to pump the water back up to conserve the water in the upper reaches. So there's a lot of thought gone into this, and it really just adds another aspect to how finely detailed this village has been modelled. So obviously when the longboat comes out of the lock, it's freewheeling, but then you'll notice the bar underneath, it'll pick up the magnets or whatever they use to tie it to the system, and away it goes. This is probably one of the more weather-beaten boats, barges, longboats, whatever you like to call them, on the river at the moment. But as I said, it's fascinating how the system works. The little ferry here, the tourist ferry going through, I'm not sure whether it was Stockholm or I'm not sure. We went on a lot of these, and you can actually hear the commentary that they've got a speaker in the system where you can hear the tour guide talking. So we leave the planes, trains, automobiles and boats of the Lego village, and the next video, number 3, will be some of the rides that are available. I'm sure if you have children under 10 or even 12, you just cannot go past Legoland, but you really do need several days just to be able to see all the attractions. There's a lot to see within the place. Recommend it highly.